Namaste everybody. Welcome to the virtual class of Grade 9 English. Today, we'll get involved in some activities of listening and speaking. And before we start listening exercise today, let me ask some questions. Please have a look. Here on the screen, you can see a picture, and this is the picture from your textbook, right? So, look at the picture. How many people are there? There are, okay, 4. 2 girls, you see 2 girls and 2 boys there. And what is the picture about? What do you think is the picture about? Okay, just guess, okay? So, maybe they are discussing about something, some topic we actually don't know up to now. Here is one question just below the picture. Different holy books and prophets have stressed on fraternity, love, and understanding among human beings, right? So, have you ever heard that saying or their sayings? List the sayings you have heard now. It means, have you heard anything about some famous people like famous prophets or say religious preachers or some religious gurus? They preach or they just deliver the messages of God, or they deliver the messages from the great holy books. You know holy books? Holy books are some religious books, right? Like you might have heard about the Bible, you might have heard about the Bhagavad Gita, you might have heard about the Tripitaka or the Quran, whatever. It means what you have to do here in this is just find out some sayings of great people like Jesus Christ maybe, or maybe Lord Buddha, or maybe Lord Krishna, or there are some gods, or there are some messenger of gods, say, or there are some prophets or religious people, religious figures who just try to explain religious books, you know. And here, what you have to do is write serially 1, 2, 3, 4. Mention what they say about love, about understanding, or about fraternity, means brotherhood. Then, in which epics or in which great books, religious books, those things or those statements are there, or who say this, or who are the prophets' name, or means who are the prophets that they have told these things or said these things. So you have to do that. Now, I just want to tell some sayings of great people like let me remember one. Okay, in the Bible there is one saying, love each other and love each other as I have loved you. It means when you love each other, then it is like there is God in us. There is that kind of saying. It means the Bible also focuses on love, understanding, mutual interest or common interest, things like that. Now there is one thing from Gita. He who has no attachments can really love others. It means for love is sacred, pure. The Bhagavad Gita says love is pure and divine. And there in the Quran, Muhammad says, exchange gifts, you will love one another. Exchange gifts means just live in harmony by giving, by sharing things. That develops what? That develops love, fraternity, brotherhood. And that develops social harmony, or say harmony among the people, right? So we know there are different tribes and castes, or different types of religious groups in the world, in the same community also sometimes. So just keep in mind, why we are talking about this picture, or why we're talking about different religious doctrines or religious books, and why we talk about prophets or great preachers. It's because now we are going to listen to a text, to an audio file, in which you will find the similar kind of things, okay? Okay, now get ready for listening. Before that, before actually you listen to the text, I would like to show you some words that you will find in the text, and which maybe, I'm not sure whether they are difficult for you or not, but I think it will be difficult for you. That's why I want to show you some words. Like, have you seen this word? I think we have already done it in the previous class also. fraternity, right? So fraternity means brotherhood. Meaning is given. Brotherhood is like feeling, common feeling like brothers. And I have got another word also. You will find these words here. Holy. Holy books. What do you mean by holy? Holy is sacred or religious. Pure, pavitra, we can say in Nepali. Next word we have here is prophets. I have already told you. Let me put it here. Okay, prophets. People who deliver God's messages. It means religious preachers. They preach, they tell about what God has said. They deal with different religious books, especially the books of their own religion, right? Okay. Next word we have is epics. Have you heard about this? Epics, long narrative poems. We call it Mahakavya also, especially, Mahabharata, Gita. These are just great books that deal, narrative means here, telling stories. Stories of what? Especially religious stories, right? So long narrative poems on those books that deal with some religious stories. We have so many books there. Next, righteousness. Another word for you. Righteousness, okay? Righteousness, righteousness, morally good. It means, righteousness means the state of being right, being correct, or being moral. So it is especially religiously moral, religiously good, we can say. So this is morally good, righteousness. Different, religious books focus on that. Next we have another word, harmony. Okay, harmony, let me put it here. I've given you two words here. Harmony, S-Y-N refers to synonym. Synonym means here same meaning, okay? Unity, harmony means unity. Unity means having same kind of feelings or same kind of experiences, same sentiments, right? Harmony, unity, being together, living in harmony. Harmony, antonym means opposite word. Opposite, reverse meaning, quite opposite meaning. That is disorder. Order, disorder, right? That's opposite. Now we have another, compassion. So let me put it here, compassion. Compassion is, next word, compassion refers to sympathy. Sympathy means here, being, showing your kindness to others. When somebody is in problem, you feel pity on them, right? That's sympathy, sympathetic feeling. Now next word we have is resolution. Can you get this? Resolution. This is a resolution. Opinion or decision. You make a firm resolution, means a kind of determination, okay? A kind of decision, powerful decision. Next word is despise. For this also I have given you some synonym and opposite, antonym. Despise, synonym, dislike. Dislike means like hate, you don't like something, that is dislike, that is despise. So we don't have to despise anybody, okay? We are all human beings, we have to love each other. That's why love is what? Love is the opposite word for despise. And one more word I would like to show you here. This is, okay, essence. Essence means nature, being, or quality. What is your essence? Essence is what you are like, okay? What you are actually. Means I'm here like this. This is my essence. My behavior, my attitude, or what I look like, or what I am, in fact. That is my essence. What something is like, that is essence. So that's the nature. Now, I think you have got these words. These are some of the words you are going to face Just for that, I would like to make sure whether you will find these words or not. Even if you don't find these words, you will find these words, some of these words in the text also, in the exercises also, not only in the audio file. But please find out these words are there or not. Okay? Now here it goes. Please listen very carefully. I hope you have got the book in front of you, the exercises. But this time, I'm going to play the audio, but don't get focused. Don't pay attention to your book, okay? Just listen carefully and then find out whether these words are there or not, whether you understand the text or not. Just try to understand the text. This is what it is.
Grade 9, Unit 2. You will hear a conversation among four friends, Ekwal, Turing, Christina and Swastika, talking about the essence of our holy books.
Essence, right? Did you hear that word?
Turing, I've got something interesting to say. Would you like to hear?
Definitely. Go ahead.
I read our holy book, the Quran. From it, I understood that God has created us and made us into tribes and nations so that we may know each other, not despise each other.
Yeah, that's true. Once I also heard a Buddhist monk saying, with kindness, love, compassion and essence of brotherhood and sisterhood, we will have inner peace.
Really? I also have something to add to it, may I?
Sure.
According to the Rig Veda, unifying hearts and having common intention, resolution and prayer bring peace.
That's true. United we stand, divided we fall.
Yes, Christina, would you like to add your view?
Yeah, the Bible says the work of righteousness leads to quietness and assurance forever, which creates peace.
Great. That means all our epics and prophets have discouraged hatred, fighting and bad deeds among us. Why do people still do it?
Perhaps lack of knowledge. Education may help people to understand the importance of living together.
Yes, you are right.
Okay. Did you hear those words there in the text? That was just for, for you to find whether these texts are there or not, or to find out the meanings beforehand. Okay, now this time we're going to listen carefully to do the exercise, okay? We're just going to do the exercise. For that, let me put it here on the board very quickly. Okay, here it is. This is the exercise from your textbook. You can see there in a book as well. You can also find it in your text, right? Textbook. Okay. Did you see it? We have got two questions. Remember that, in listening exercises, we have some types of questions, like we have questions for understanding, short question answers, Short answers should be given. Now there are some questions like fill in the gaps. Some questions are matching, or some questions are multiple choice type. Some questions are true false. Okay. Here in our textbook right now, for this listening exercise, we have two types of questions. The first one is multiple choice. The second is true false. Okay. Did you get it? Look at this. The first question, question number A, is listen to the conversation and choose the best answers. This is multiple choice. I have already told you. The first question, just read the question, please. Read out the question very quickly. The world will be a better place if there is. You have to choose. But don't do it right now. You will be doing the exercise after you listen to the audio file again. Be careful on that. Next, sodality is highlighted by, whether sodality is there or not, but I will be explaining the word sodality. Cheering, equal, or Christiana. Sodality refers to brotherhood. Like earlier we did it. Brotherhood refers to fraternity, right? So they are connected. They are similar words. Sodality, brotherhood, fraternity. Next word is, okay, sodality is there. Who said this? We have to find out. Number 3 is that the Rig Veda stresses on. Rig Veda, name of religious book of the Hindus. Common intention or sisterhood or righteousness. We have choices, okay? Number 4 emphasizes. There is blank in the beginning. Emphasize on loving each other. The Rig Veda, the Quran, the Buddhist prophet. We have to find out. Number 5, according to whom? We have to keep the name. But don't do it now. Education is an important means, okay? Education is an important means to peaceful living. Who said this? Cheering or swastika or equal? We have to find out. There is another exercise also. Exercise number B. Just get the ideas of the question. Just try to understand the question first. Listen to the conversation again and decide whether the following sentences are true or false. Which one is true, which one is false. First number, living together means knowing each other. Okay, true or false, we will find out after listening. Okay. Second, the Rig Veda believes in harmony among human beings. Third one is, Iqbal seems to be a Christian. Is he Christian or not? We have to find out. Make sure after listening, okay? Number 4, we belong to different religions, but we need to live in harmony. What do you think? What is your opinion? Next, unity is strength. Whether it is there in the text or not, we have to find out. I guess you have understood the questions. Now, you will listen to the tape, audio file here, not tape right now. Listen to the audio, and what you have to do is, you have to focus on the first type of question. If you find any answers there for the second also, you can do it, but it is not compulsory, okay? Get focused on question number A. This means how many we have? We have 5 questions. Get focused on that. And next time I play, then you will get focused on the second question, okay? This means again we'll have 2 or 3 times more to listen. Just get ready. Here is the exercise. Be careful on that. And remember, how many people are there speaking? I have already played once. There are 4 people. Who are they? They are cheering, Iqbal, Christina, and Swastika. Remember, 4 people. Cheering, Iqbal, Christina, and Swastika. And they each of them belong to different religions. Remember, one is Hindu, the other is from Christianity, the other is from Buddhism, means other is Buddhist, and the next one is Muslim. So, get ready? Hope that you are ready there. Now, please listen one more. Here it goes like this. Get focused on the question this time. First type of question.
Grade 9, Unit 2. You will hear a conversation among 4 friends, Iqbal, Turing, Christina, and Swastika, talking about the essence of our holy books. Turing, I've got something interesting to say. Would you like to hear?
Definitely. Go ahead.
I read our holy book, the Quran. From it, I understood that God has created us and made us into tribes and nations so that we may know each other, not despise each other.
Yeah, that's true. Once I also heard a Buddhist monk saying, with kindness, love, compassion, and essence of brotherhood and sisterhood, we will have inner peace.
Really? I also have something to add to it, may I?
Sure.
According to the Rig Veda, unifying hearts and having common intention, resolution and prayer bring peace.
That's true. United we stand, divided we fall.
Yes, Christina, would you like to add your view?
Yeah, the Bible says the work of righteousness leads to quietness and assurance forever, which creates peace.
Great. That means all our epics and prophets have discouraged hatred, fighting, and bad deeds among us. Why do people still do it?
Perhaps lack of knowledge. Education may help people to understand the importance of living together.
Yes, you are right.
Okay. I hope you got some answers for some questions. I'm not sure whether you have done one or you have done five, question number 5, not sure. Different people may make different answers, or they may do different, they may attempt different answers, okay, different questions, okay? Now this time, I think you got some answers for second number also, or for first number A. Did you find the world will be a better place if there is? Which option do you think is the correct answer? Are you sure of the answer? Hatred or conflict or peace? If you're sure, okay, do it. If you're not sure, wait for the next play. Sodality is highlighted by cheering or Iqbal or Christina. Now, let me tell you something, Christina, from the name also you can guess which religion they belong to, right? Christina, don't you think it sounds like Christian? Okay. She might be a Christian, because from the conversation also, she's talking about what? In the conversation, she's talking about the Bible and about what the Bible says. Iqbal sounds like what? A Muslim name, right? Chiring sounds like what? Buddhist. And swastika? Hindu. Okay. They are all telling about their prophets, about their holy books. Now, the Rig Veda station, before that, while playing also, I just indicated this answer, right? The Rig Veda stresses on common intention. So, the correct answer is common intention, because I was just pointing there. Did you get it? Emphasizes on loving each other. The Rig Veda, the Quran, the Buddhist prophet, what do you think? In fact, all religions focus on love, on compassion, kindness, say, non-violence, and things like that, right? But here in the audio file, what they are talking about, or what actually some religious books or prophets they are telling, they are talking about. So according to education is an important means to peaceful living. Can you get it? If not, don't worry. We'll have next play. Okay, just I left this up on you. Just wait for the next play. In number B, did you find some points there? Just like true false, we have true false exercise. Living together means knowing each other, right? Right or wrong? Just decide it. The Rig Veda believes in harmony among human beings. True or false? You'll wait for that. Iqbal seems to be a Christian. Now this, just before I told you, Iqbal, do you think Iqbal is a Christian? No. By the name Christina, Christina, she sounds like a Christian. And if you're not sure of the answer, just wait for the next play again. Iqbal seems to be a Christian. I think it should be false. Number next, we belong to different religions, but we need to live in harmony. Don't you think so? We belong to different religions. Some of you might be Christians, some of you Hindus. And don't you think we have to live in harmony, helping each other, or cooperating each other, living in peace, living in harmony? Yes. So it must be what? It must be right. Without listening also we can get the answer for this, right? Even without listening to the text, we can do it. Unity is a strength. Don't you think so? I'll be playing it one more time. Just listen carefully this time and then find out.
Grade 9, Unit 2. You'll hear a conversation among 4 friends, Iqbal, Chiring, Christina and Swastika, talking about the essence of our holy books. Chiring, I've got something interesting to say. Would you like to hear?
Definitely. Go ahead.
I read our holy book, the Quran. From it, I understood that God has created us and made us into tribes and nations so that we may know each other, not despise each other.
Yeah, that's true. Once I also heard a Buddhist monk saying, with kindness, love, compassion and essence of brotherhood and sisterhood, we will have inner peace.
Really? I also have something to add to it, may I?
Sure.
According to the Rig Veda, unifying hearts and having common intention, resolution and prayer bring peace.
That's true. United we stand.
Okay. It is there, isn't it? Rig Veda stresses on common intention. Did you find it? Now, continue.
United we stand, divided we fall.
Okay, divided we fall. United we stand, divided we fall. It refers to what? Unity is strength, don't you think so? United we stand, divided we fall. Unity is strength. So this is true. So you can do it. This is true. Now find some others also.
Would you like to add your view?
Yeah, the Bible says the work of righteousness leads to quietness and assurance forever, which creates peace.
Great! That means all our epics and prophets have discouraged hatred, fighting and bad deeds among us. Why do people still do it?
Perhaps lack of knowledge. Education may help people to understand the importance of living together.
Yes, you are right.
Okay. This is what you listened. Now, let's get focused on the exercise. The world will be a better place if there is, definitely, there should not be hatred, there should not be conflict or war, right? So, what is the answer? The answer is peace. I think you got it. Sodality is highlighted by whom? Sodality means brotherhood. Who talks about brotherhood there? In the beginning, who is speaking or who is starting the conversation? He says cheering. Would you like to hear? So he says what? Cheering. He's calling cheering means who is speaking? Iqbal is speaking, Iqbal. So this means sodality is highlighted by the second person, the second boy who is speaking there talks about sodality, brotherhood. That means Buddhism. So who is there talking about Buddhism? Cheering. So you got the answer there. Emphasize on loving each other. Which emphasizes on loving each other means we should not despise each other. Who says? Iqbal says, right? We should not despise means we should not hate. It means this is the focus on what? Love. So who says about love? Who says about the Quran? Iqbal says. So the Quran is the answer for this. According to whom? Education is an important means to peaceful living. Who says this? Almost towards the end, whether you recognize the sound or not, but this was Iqbal. Iqbal talking about the education, importance of education in peaceful living, right? It means after all religions talk about the same thing. Now, number B. I think number B, without even, repetition also, you can get the answer, I think. Number one, living together means knowing each other. Don't you think if you live in a society, that means you get to know each other, right? So this is true. The Rig Veda believes in harmony among human beings. Don't you think Swastika is talking about harmony? What Rig Veda says or what Rig Veda stresses on? Rig Veda, our very old religious book. So the Rig Veda believes in harmony. That's true. Iqbal seems to be a Christian. I've already told you. This is false. Christian is Christina here. And then we are, okay, everything done. This was the listening. Now, very quickly, let me tell you the exercise is done. There is one question put into practice section. You can have a look on the screen. Listen to a religious program on the radio or television. Note down a few ideas of the prophets or the speeches and convey them to your friends. Means you have to listen to a program, right? There are religious programs early in the morning. You can watch any television, any Nepali national televisions, and you can get that program and what those prophets or those religious gurus tell us about. Tell us about the religion, about love, about compassion, about understanding among human beings. Okay? Just get the ideas and convey or pass on to your friends. Next, this is for you. Just do it at home, at your leisure. Now we have speaking section. The second section we are just entering from your textbook. There are two questions before we actually begin the speaking class. There are two questions here. Have you ever heard about or heard anyone persuading others to do or not to do things? What type of language do these people use? Have you heard? Some people persuading you, persuading some others. Okay. Next, refer back to Nima's letter. I think you have already done that. Nima's letter to her brother, right? So mark how she advises her brother, Lakpa. Do you think we can use the same instructions to persuade people to do things or to do something? Yes. She is giving some instructions. She is giving some, advice or suggestions on how he could improve his English, right? So you can get there. I think very quickly. I must show you there the letter. Okay. This is Nima's letter, and here in the letter somewhere, in the second paragraph, you can see there on the screen right now. You should always try to. You can see that bold-faced letters, right? Bold-faced letters in black letters, dark black letters. You should always try to communicate in English with your English teacher and friends. You should. Don't you think there is structure of should? Next sentence you can see somewhere in the middle. Why don't you buy a radio for yourself? Why don't you buy a radio for yourself and listen to such programs? You can see that dark letters. Means he is suggesting to buy a radio. Lastly, as you listen to any new word, you ought to repeat it, right? You ought to. Using ought to, using should, plus verb. That is another way of giving advice or suggesting, right? Next one, you can see there, the black letters. You had better buy a good English dictionary and use it. You had better plus buy, means verb, main verb, right? Use this structure. Next, you can see there, how about plus verb ing. How about talking to the foreign tourists who come to visit our place, our area? That is how she is giving some advice to her brother. Now this time, I must tell you something about what? Something about the structures here. I think you have already got the structures. And they are there in your textbook also. Here is one structure. Can you see it? Another one is here. These structures are used for what? Used for giving instructions, right? Instruction? No, not exactly. Giving advice, giving suggestions. Like who did? Like Nima did. And one more. Okay. It's quite okay. You can say it here. If I were you, I would plus verb. For example, if I were you, I would speak to the foreigners to improve English. It's like that. If I were you, I would do the homework in time. Don't you make this kind of sentence? If I were you, I would do this, right? How about plus ing? Suppose I'm getting fat, or your friend is getting too much fat day by day. And what kind of suggestion would you like to give? You just say, how about going on morning walk, going on morning walk, or say, how about eating less? How about going on dieting? It's like that. You just give suggestion. You have better plus verb also. Verb means verb infinitive verb. Generally we call it verb 1. You had better do this. Or you should, you ought to. Same thing. You should do this. You should not do this. Or you sometimes give suggestions, or you ask people not to do things, Sometimes you ask people to do something, and sometimes you ask them not to do something. Okay? Here are the structures, like why don't you? So why don't you? Why don't you plus verb? Why don't you buy a good English dictionary and get the correct pronunciation to improve your English? Why don't you? Why don't you go to market and buy a very good book? So this is how we give suggestion. Now for this, let me take you to the screen. There is one conversation, right? So here it is. This is the conversation given in your textbook. Walk in pairs and play the role. This is role play. Just you can play the role of A and B, and some people can be C and D. Just have conversation in turns. Okay? This is like this. I have had a stomach ache for 1 hour. A says. B says, why don't you take some hot water? And again, A says, I've taken it, but there is not any progress. B says, you are better tell the teacher and go home. Means first time he is giving suggestion, B is giving suggestion by using why don't you, right? Why don't you check some hot water? And that did not work, A says, and that's why B is giving one more suggestion, another suggestion. That is, you are better tell the teacher and go home. Means to take rest, maybe to have medicine. So this is how we do. C and D are also conversing the same way, giving suggestion on how to buy a good watch, right? All right. So I'm looking for a wristwatch. Can you show me one? D says, of course, this is sharp time quartz. It's an original one. Means persuading. Persuading means giving reason, suggesting also, giving advice. At the same time, he or she is persuading. It means giving reason to persuade. So is it durable? How much is it? D says, no doubt, there is 1 year warranty on it. It's cheap as well. If I were you, I would buy it. It's how people give suggestion using if I were you, or how about, or why don't you. These are the major structures, main structures for giving advice. Now put into practice section. Very quickly, let me tell you about the question. There are some problems, A has got problem, B gives a suggestion. Again, that doesn't work. And again, B gives suggestion. So like in the example we did earlier, do or follow the same process and practice the conversation given here. Practice conversation 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay? Do these things. Or practice between and among your friends. Now, we have another question. This is also about problem. This is your problem this time. So please, tell your problem, and then your friend gives you suggestion. Okay? Do this. Just like you say, my pronunciation is not so good. And your friend says, or might say, why don't you go to a good tuition center? Or why don't you speak to the foreigners? So do this. Please. Next, some people, your friend wants to do things and you persuade him or her to do or not to do particular things here. So want to learn Japanese means your friend wants to. This time, your friend wants something because they have got problem and you give suggestion. Okay? Earlier, you had problem, your friend gave some suggestions. This time, your friend has a problem, then you give suggestion, advice. Okay, if you are persuading, then give a reason also. Why it is so. Why do you give suggestion to buy a good watch? Give a reason, because it's the original one like that. Okay, this much for today. We had listening and speaking both. I think you got some ideas on how to do listening, but for speaking, you are not really here in front of me, and then I'm very much sorry that I just wanted to converse with you, but I could not. Very sorry, but practice. Don't forget to practice among or with your friends, right? Okay, this brings us to the end of the class today. Hope that you enjoyed. Have a great time ahead. Please do this, do practice, enjoy your time, enjoy life. Namaste.